Hey, everybody, Sandra here. Thanks for joining in for this episode of the Long Game Podcast. I just want to say that I have loved hearing feedback from you on how my podcast is helping you, inspiring you, keeping you company on your travels. We create things and create art and content, and we put it out there. And I see the numbers of downloads and I see the clicks and saves on Pinterest, but it's just really great to hear from my listeners directly who are trying out things that we talk about here, signing up for programs with my guests and really just taking the ride with me. So I just want to let y'all know, thank you. I appreciate you. And let's keep connecting. All right, today I want to highlight something that is a big part of what I do. I work with so many entrepreneurs who want to have a digital course as part of their business, or they already have a digital course and they're trying to figure out how to make it work best for them. There is a science to creating courses and curriculum. You can't just put up a bunch of information totally unorganized, slap it up there and expect people to find their way through it and have it make sense to them or have them make sense of it. One of the things that I really get behind here is that in every industry can be supportive of online learning. We've seen it here and through the various podcast episodes with my guests, right? From the spiritual industry to the fashion industry, to the coaching industry, to the weight loss industry. There are so many niches that support having an online course. And many of the people that I work with have successful one-to-one offers, and a digital course is the next step for expanding their business. So if you've been thinking about creating an online course in your business, today's episode is for you. You're listening to the Long Game Podcast with Sandra Scaiano. In a world where everyone is doing, it's easy to get lost in a sea of comparison, secret tricks, and promises of overnight success. The long game is my approach to business, the actual day in and day out philosophy that you have to show up, you have to do the work, and there's no quick fixes for long-term success. I'm a web designer, digital strategist, and energetic thinker, and I'm here to share the process and lessons I experience with my clients daily who are going through the same struggles of building a business as you are. We'll hear from successful entrepreneurs sharing their long game strategies, and I'm fun, so we're going to have a little fun along the way too. Thanks for being here. Let's get to today's episode. All right, we're talking about course creation today. And in course creation, there's a way to go about things, or there's kind of like a system, so to speak. There's a starting point where, you're stating your objective. You are identifying the problem. It's here in the beginning that you're setting the scene. You are setting the learning environment. You set expectations so people can get themselves mentally prepared for learning. Then there's the journey portion. This is students going through the lessons. Students learn and absorb. They connect with you and your community. And it's all leading to the goal of an online course. In the end, some sort of transformation, some sort of change, or some sort of solution to a problem, and some sort of learning and acceleration, or some sort of movement, right? Like you don't go through a course and stay stagnant. So, how you do that is through a process. How you lead people through the curriculum, and what the curriculum is a process. And, you've got to have a process, a method, a journey to take people through if you're going to have a digital course. And then there is the solution, and that's the transformation piece or the end result. Transformation is like the holy grail, right? Caterpillar to butterfly. And transformation positions you, positions those we teach to be effective and serve others. And it builds momentum. It's the ripple that we create. And as entrepreneurs, we've developed processes in our business. These journeys that we've created for ourselves and our businesses when we're working as a service provider or even as product sellers, like we create solutions with our products. We create solutions with our services. And from that, digital courses can be created. So the question that so many people come to me with is, how do I do that? How do I turn what I do into a digital course? And I love getting this question because for me, I see so much possibility. I get excited when I meet someone and I'm learning about their business and I'm able to see their expertise and how that can be pulled out, how they can use what they do to help others and to also create a revenue stream in their business that is able to be scaled. Because that's the number one piece about having a digital course component to your business is that you can go from one-to-one to one-to-many and really start to scale. My client, Gladys, who I have been working with for over 2 years now, she has a big digital course presence now for the past 2 years. And she's gone from working one-to-one with clients and really helping tens of women to being almost completely digital in her offerings now and helping over 1,000 plus women in the past 2 years. And she has taken her proven system, the method that she worked with her one-to-one clients with, and applied it to a digital course that now reaches hundreds of women each launch with multiple launches each year. So, really being able to scale and have a bigger ripple effect. So if you have a method, if you have a way of working, a process that's worked for you and your business and with clients, it is perfect to turn into an online course. So here's some things to think about as you move forward. All right, number one, what is the end result that you're delivering and how much information do you need to provide to get your students there? So with that thought, we start with the result and then we work backwards because getting to that end result, that may be a lengthy process and you may see that you want to break down your course content into smaller, more bite-sized products, for instance, or you may decide that your course needs to be a 6-month or a 12-month commitment to reach the goal, to have your students reach that end result. So one thing to keep in mind with digital courses is to make the goal attainable in terms of not overwhelming your audience. And of course you can go in depth. I don't want you to just do surface level, but think about who your audience is, what success do they need, and how long do they realistically have to attain it? Okay, so for example, my course that I'm putting together and launching soon is about building out your digital course in Kajabi. It's super concrete. Like I could have gone into the marketing of your course, how to manage your Facebook group and how to set up your funnel and filling it with traffic. But I kept it very concise. It is the solution, how to build out your tech to a very real problem that people come to me for. So having this laser focused piece allows my audience to move quickly through my customized process and get to their result, which is selling their course quicker. Now, there are definitely subsequent courses that I can create because, the topic has legs. But to start, my expertise and the framework that I use successfully with my clients is about one thing: building out your course business thoughtfully so that you are set up for success. All right. Keep in mind, number two, what involvement from you is needed to facilitate a positive result for your students? So think about your method. You know your method best. And if you're going from one-to-one personal coaching, for instance, to an online course, take note and start to really notice and think about the interaction that is needed with you. And then give thought to how you can provide that on a group level. So you may have weekly coaching calls and, where you group coach students through the material, providing them an opportunity to ask questions, very common. But think about the time frame that you're going to need to spend inside your community supporting students? How does what you do one-to-one translate to digital? You totally can. You can totally make that work. But I've seen course creators think that they're creating a set it and forget it model when they really need to be more involved. And, there still may be a lot of cultivation that's needed to get to the end result. And depending on your industry and your course topic, I really want you to think about what you need and how you're going to implement that through your method as a digital course. And this point, it's really important because it comes to budgeting your time. All right, number 3. When creating your digital course content and when thinking about, bringing your method and translating it into a digital course, you've got to tap into a way for you to bring your magic over to the recorded sessions. And a lot of this is about comfortability, getting comfortable on video and being able to relay your message naturally. But it's also about how you set up the teaching of your method. So if, for instance, you normally get a fair amount of input from your client during your process, you're going to need to think about how to relay the information so that you can connect with each student without their immediate input. So right now I'm working with a client who's going from one-to-one to launching her course. And when we started mapping out the course, she grappled with the fact that each family she serves has a unique situation. So I asked her one major question. What do you wish your clients came to you with? What do they need to know to get the full benefit of working with you? And that's where we started. Oftentimes, a lot of my clients, their one-to-one process is explaining terms and getting their clients to have a base of understanding of the landscape that they work in. So, when we brought that learning to her digital course, that was the foundation. That became the start. And then we also, for her course, added a course and consulting option. So that's another offer available for purchase so that people can be armed with knowledge from the course, and then her students can also get a personalized experience. And I want to note that, as we talked about previously, there are limits to this type of offer, right? That's still kind of a one-to-one thing offering that. But as she grows this side of her business and demand increases for her time, she can increase her consulting rate. But for now, at the launch and at starting, it's another good way because she's already consulting in her business and she already does that. So it's another way to make that transition and fulfill some of the needs with a digital course. Okay. So, those are some things to keep in mind in terms of turning your method into a digital product. But the most important step for this in turning your method into a digital course is to outline all the steps in your process. And, we just tend to fly through things because we know what to do already. There's this part that we don't slow down, but the slowing down and listing out each step in your process so that you can reflect on it as a whole. This allows you to make decisions about what to include and to help that content flow and decide what the content flow will be. So it sounds like such an obvious step, right? But it's one that gets overlooked all the time because, I work with business owners who are ready to sit down and they just do not know where to start. So think about the end result, how to formulate that, but always write down what your full process is. Because once you're looking at your process as an outline, you will be able to see areas that you can omit, if you're offering the process for beginners, let's say, or you're going to see areas that you can deeper dive into if you're offering your course to more advanced folks. Outlining will help you see where you can break down the content. And remember that the goal is not to overwhelm, it's to provide value and solutions and transformations in a way that your audience can absorb at the stage they are in. So you've got to talk to them where they are and give them those tools and then different tools as they grow. So this outlining really helps and lets you see items you can separate and items that you can create that are additional or supplemental. You can create content from those. So here's the thing about digital courses. And when it comes to using them to share our method, it opens us up to different ways to connect with our business. You can teach yoga through a digital course, or you can teach yoga studio owners how to run a successful yoga business. So look at all the methods that you create inside of your business because they can help open you to new audiences. Your digital course doesn't have to just be for your normal students. It can be for a new audience, others who are similar to you, other business owners who are on the same path, so to speak. And the process you may have perfected, it can be entirely different, for an entirely different audience than you currently market to. And my point here is just do not dismiss the value of your own business success as a starting point for creating digital courses for your business. And I'm also going to say that when you come upon this, one of the biggest hurdles to get over with this approach are those thoughts of, I'm sharing my secrets and now others can do what I do. Or they'll take away my customers if I teach them how to run a successful business. And that is such a fear-based mentality. I want to support you in the fact that you are already an expert. You've already developed the process and have these levels of success. So opening these ideas up to others allows others to come to you whom, maybe you can mentor in different ways and with different offers. This allows your business to grow, and your business doesn't grow without more people and new ideas. So, I think back with this concept to the work of my talented friend, Alexandra Takeda, in her Money Mastery Academy. Go back and listen to episode 38, The Money Amplifier Effect, for an introduction to what Alexandra teaches. But she goes into a lot about mindset of lack and how fear and our old thoughts can be reprogrammed into abundance. And listen, I'm on this mission with you too, and it takes work. As I'm preparing for my course launch, sometimes those thoughts come in, but I try and shift my thoughts to my planning and my goal setting. So instead of being scared or fearful when some thought comes in hey, if that person buys, they're going to steal business from me, I think, well, if that person buys, I'm one more course closer to the goal I've set. So be open to what the possibilities are, with the methods that you've created and the methods that you use in your business. And lastly, I want to impart on you that you create your business and digital courses can be a part of that. They can be your whole business or one revenue stream of your business. So if you are one-to-one, you can add a digital course. You can transition into fully digital if you want to do that. Start out with one course, get it set up properly, get students into your course, and listen to their feedback. Look at your course data to see where to tweak and improve your course, as opposed to just making radical changes because one student said this, right? One course is one focus. It's one message, and it's going to be easier to manage as you start. And having your course relate to the method that you've created in your business keeps you on a singular mission, whether you're working one-to-one with a client or working within your course, right? You are talking all about the same thing all the time. So, you can refine your offer and you can refine your one course and then begin to scale. So, repurposing your method, that's really what we're talking about here. Something you've already created and repurposing your method is a great way to start with a digital course offering for your business. So, look at your business. Look what you've created for yourself. Are there methods that you have down pat, that you have like rocked the world with, your own business world with? Start with that. If that's a place, if you have been wanting to get into the digital courses, or if you have a method of success that you've worked with clients one-on-one with, and it's a proven method, that's another place to start. And start really thinking, again, what we talked about and those points that I hit earlier. Create that outline, map it out, get that outline and all those steps down. How are you bringing your magic? Think about what part of you needs to really be in there and how you can translate that from one-to-one to one to a group. And go and think about the end result. Start with the end and work backwards so that you can figure out what needs to be included in your course so that you're not overwhelming. All right, those are great ways to turn your method into a masterclass or a digital course. So, all right, get out there. If you have questions, if you want to know how to get started, feel free to ask me. Just send me a DM through Facebook or Instagram, or book a call on my website, sandrasky.com. And if this resonated with you, share it with your friends. If you are looking to get started with a digital course on the side, even while you have other parts of your business going, you've got to get started, because you'll be in the same place next year if you don't, right? So share this with your friends. If you know anybody who is interested and you've been talking, help them keep moving forward too. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Thanks for joining me today. You can access more info in the show notes at thelonggamepodcast.net. If today's show connected with you in some way, please share it with your friends or hop on iTunes and leave me a review. Until next time, keep playing the long game.